Okay, so Izzy, do you want to whack us on the video so everyone can see it? Yeah. Hi everyone. So I'm Gem. I'm an inbound consultant at PaperQuest, and this is Izzy. Hi. So we both went to inbound this year as inbound consultants, and we basically wanted to be able to give you a bit of an informal debrief for people who didn't go along, just because there was so much information that came out of it, that we wanted to just be able to put it across to everyone in an easy way. So we thought a video would be the easiest way to do that. So we've got a few slides to put across for that. Like I say, it will be informal, just us chatting. If anyone wants to ask any questions as we go along, feel free to use the chat pane. And otherwise, then we'll probably ask at the end if anyone's got any questions. So let's dive into the presentation. Okay, so how this is going to run. We've got some product updates for you, looking at the new things coming out of HubSpot this year, which is all very exciting. We've got some food for thought, so general thoughts that were going around at inbound and that we've been hearing since. Would be interesting to look at over the next few months. And then also some things you can do now, so some key takeaways that you can literally take away now and go and implement in your business, so some useful things as well. So Izzy's going to kick us off with the product updates.
Yeah. Okay, so one big thing that came out of inbound was that HubSpot are now changing their naming conventions for the COS. So it's now the CMS. It's more secure. They're going to include an SSL certificate as standard for everyone, and that is due in Q1 next year.
It's very exciting because it was paid for before unless you had a website included in your site. So now it's completely free. If you don't have your website in HubSpot, ask to get it, your SSL certificate on your landing pages or your blog, and that can be done now.
Yeah. There's also better compatibility, so it's now compatible with Google Site Pages if anyone still uses those, and better compatibility with Google Analytics. The integrations that are coming out, Google Docs, if anyone drafts their blogs in Google Docs, you'll be able to upload them directly from there. They're also including a new native site search, so rather than just using the Google custom search that many of you might have, there's going to be much better search available in the tool itself,
which actually links really well with Google Analytics. So you can be looking at what people are searching on your site, which makes a huge difference and can also help your user experience as well. So that's really good.
Yeah, and there's also going to be much better dev tools. I know that it can be a little bit difficult to build in currently if anyone uses them. So they're just creating a much better environment to build in. It's an integrated dev environment. Also new HubDB pages and modules. And another really exciting thing as well is that you'll be able to create custom modules and make them available in the marketplace to share with other HubSpot users as well. And that's coming in Q4.
So it's a little bit like for people who've used WordPress. So if you wanted to add a section of your site for search or for a specific type of module, I can't think of one off the top of my head, then you can add it into there. So rather than creating something from scratch every time, you'll be able to go and buy it from the marketplace.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Okay. Then we've got a few new things coming into HubSpot marketing as well.
Okay. Do you want to do campaign?
Yeah, go through that. So with campaign reporting, so for a while the campaign reporting has been somewhat limited, just letting you look at set stuff in the campaign, so views, conversions, set to customers as well. They're actually expanding that out, making it easier to prove ROI, so linking things together much more, and also linking it together with the CRM so you can report back through and really close that loop with sales. If you've got a amount set on a deal in the CRM, you can then feed that back through so that you can really tell exactly how much came out of your campaigns, which is really exciting. There's also better reporting in general coming soon. So you've got a lot, they started to introduce this last year, but you've got more web analytics, so bounce rate, time on page, that's all being introduced to page performance, which I know I'm really excited about it. It's definitely going to make a difference to being able to track performance on pages and tweak your marketing over time, test it, etc. So, Izzy, do you want to go for Facebook lead ads?
Yep. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have seen this yet. It is still in beta, but it's going to be available across all marketing levels in HubSpot, so free, basic, pro, and enterprise. You'll be able to create lead ads natively in HubSpot. So these are Facebook forms. So if anyone is using Facebook ads, people will be able to complete the form, and it also autofills with the information that they've shared with Facebook. So it will auto-complete, and it should be much easier for them to convert on. These are also automatically tracked and synced in HubSpot, so we'll create you smart lists, and those will update all the time. With this, you'll be able to get leads immediately. I'm not sure how many of you are using social ads, but it should be much easier to use them if you want to.
Just all about keeping them in that same place as well. So if people taking off to your website from Facebook, if they would be happier. From research has suggested people would be happier staying in Facebook, and obviously Facebook would be happier if they stayed in Facebook as well. Yeah. So it's just keeping it all native.
Yeah, and the same goes for LinkedIn and any social channel really. Also, you'll be able to create remarketing audiences. So HubSpot will automatically collect anyone that visits your site over the previous 60 days or so, and that will be updated daily.
Yeah, so that's really good for remarketing and really targeting people who are coming to your site, because as we know, people definitely don't come to a site and convert first time, so it's really good for following up on that.
Yeah, another really cool thing, which is probably really long overdue for people that use Instagram, there will be an integration with HubSpot. I believe it is just for the mobile app currently, but it will be sending push alerts and notifications for people to schedule posts on Instagram, which is pretty exciting.
Cool. This one we'll probably just quickly go over because I'm not sure how many B2C people we have, but they have announced a big native Shopify integration. So Shopify is an e-commerce platform that a lot of HubSpot users are using. So HubSpot, rather than building their own e-commerce platform, have decided to just get behind one. So have chosen Shopify and are partnering with them for that integration. Mm-hmm. Final one, HubSpot Collect. I'm actually quite excited about this. It's basically a new Chrome extension which helps you to collect images and articles from around the web. So if you're just searching, reading articles, and you find quotes or little snippets that you would find really useful to put into your own blogs, if you're, for example, wanting to get some thought leadership from some of the key industry publications, then you can snapshot that, and then HubSpot will store it in HubSpot, and you can then automatically put it into your blog articles, and it will handle attribution and formatting. So it looks really good. I've tested it out. And the attribution just takes the complete hassle out of formatting attributions and making sure you've linked it to the right place. So that's a really big thing for me, I think. Yeah. Okay. This goes back to that the Facebook lead ads as an example, but one of the things we're noticing coming out is this next generation of inbound ads. So being able to segment and target your ads in order to really increase ROI of inbound, not just from that traditional 6 months, which HubSpot have often said is the amount of time needed to really see impact from inbound, but actually reducing that to 30, 60, or even 90 days. So that's quite transformative when it comes to being able to prove the use of inbound in your business, which I know can sometimes be a challenge. So yeah, lead ads is one example of that.
Okay, so another big thing coming out is HubSpot Conversations. So you've probably seen the Messenger feature in HubSpot. It's called Messages?
Yes, Messages, I think, yeah.
So this is kind of an add-on from that, but it basically stores messages from your prospects and customers in one central place. It's pulling everything from every channel. So if you've got Facebook live chat and also the HubSpot messages as well. So it just keeps all of that in one place as well as email. it is available in HubSpot free in the CRM. And they're also building in, they've recently acquired Motion.ai, which is a bot developer.
Yeah, so they've tried to bring that in order to help you to manage those conversations at scale. So trying to, if you're handling a lot of incoming messages, particularly through that site-based messages tool, then you'll be able to route those to the right people and take care of tasks all from in that one screen. So it's a really good way if you've got someone away on holiday and you need to be picking up those messages. You don't want it to be lost in their inbox. It no longer will be things be lost in an inbox. They'll all be here and someone else can pick them up. So that's really good.
Yeah, so this is HubSpot's version of a customer success tool, essentially. So we've got marketing, sales, and now we have the customer service element as well, which should tie everything together.
Which I think is our next slide. Yeah.
Customer Hub.
So yeah, the customer hub, so that's building on top of conversations, which we were just going on about, and being able to escalate everyday queries and being able to manage them more effectively. So yeah, HubSpot, we're talking a lot about the fact that they've covered sales, they've covered marketing, they've got the connect piece, which gives you other integrations. So you've got your e-commerce and everything like that. And now they've got the customer hub. So it's really drawing everything together and making it that one central place for all of your business services and operations. So a lot of this is coming in 2018. We don't know when it will be. I probably would guess it will be later in the year because they're not putting a specific date on it at the moment, but it's something to look forward to. And it's, it'll be exciting when it comes out.
Another one on this is the integrated knowledge center as well. So that will be a place where you can store all of your articles, FAQs, anything that your customers or prospects might want to know, and you'll be able to leverage that as well in the messages, and also use the bots to pull some of that through as well and direct it to the right place.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Okay, so our sales team are particularly excited about this. Can't wait to start using this in some of our clients as well. We've got some updates to Sales Professional. So they're really trying to simplify the way that they package Sales Professional, bringing it in with, obviously you've got free tools in the CRM. There will be a element of Sales Professional that stays at a lower price point, and then they're also bringing in this Sales Professional level, which is going to also involve automation and a bit more customization and reporting. So with that automation, you'll be able to assign leads, create tasks, follow-ups and deals, basically taking that workflow feature, which we all know and use a lot in marketing, and putting it into sales. So making it a lot easier to automate that and really streamline your sales processes so your sales team aren't spending all their time doing admin. Got a bit more on team management and permissions in there as well. So if you're managing a big sales team, that's a lot easier to manage and work with reporting, etc. on there as well. So that is available from the 1st of November. This isn't one of those way in the future things. It's going to be happening now. And if you buy it before, if you're not already using Sales Professional, if you were to get it before, they're actually grandfathering people into it. So you get it at the price it is now, which I think is roughly around $50.
Yep,
$50 per user, which is actually a significant saving on what it will be in the future. So yeah, there you go. So that's kind of our wrap up of the products. There is a lot more information out there, and we couldn't cover all of it, obviously, but we've got a link at the end of this presentation, which you'll be able to go to and see a lot more detail on those HubSpot products, and also sign up for notifications when they become live.
Yep. And then if any of you have any questions as well about anything that we've covered, or if you want some more clarification, just pop them in the chat pane and we'll go through them all at the end. Yeah.
So some food for thought, looking at these fajitas, tacos, whatever you want to call them, which are making me hungry. So Izzy, do you want to go on about video?
So nearly every presentation that I went to at Inbound, there was some element of video and the importance of it and how it is such a big thing now. Got some stats that I think, is it 30% of the world's population are spending time on Facebook every day. Like, they're checking Facebook every day. And video is by far the most engaging content. It's the thing that people are looking at. We're very visual learners. And, you know, we we like that human connection. So it seems obvious that we would spend more time watching people talk about stuff than just reading generic posts. So I don't know how many of you are experimenting with video at the minute, if you're already doing it, but we've got some stats here. So 2 minutes is the best engagement time, but there's also another sweet spot, anything between 6 to 12 minutes long gets the next best level of engagement, and then anything that's 0 to 30 seconds, so really short videos, people will just drop straight off, and then after 2 to 6 minutes, people are leaving after that time. You should be looking to use videos during the sales process and for account management, not just marketing as well, which I'll go into in some later slides. But just a couple of stats here, 73% of late stage prospects became customers after receiving personalized videos. So I don't know if any of you are in sales or just marketing, but definitely worth showing with your sales teams, because I think this is going to be a massive thing, not just this year, but going forwards now.
Yeah, definitely. Starting to see it a lot more places as well. I'm starting to see video on LinkedIn. Now they've added that in there as a feature that you can use. So what is the key to getting started with video? Pretty much, like Izzy said, every presentation was talking about video, and the biggest advice you can get is basically just to dive in. As cheesy as it sounds, you've just got to get started. It can be a bit nerve-wracking talking to a camera. It can be, you can feel like you have to have all the equipment, get it all scripted, but actually a lot of the videos that we like, that we as marketers or as consumers like watching, are just the natural ones. So just grab your camera, try and record something engaging, interesting, just as if you're talking to someone on WhatsApp video or FaceTime, anything like that. Just try it and see how it works. If it really starts working, then maybe try adding on extra pieces of equipment. But basically just dive in and get started with it and see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely try out Facebook Live as well. That's going to be a lot bigger than it is now.
Yeah. Okay, so one of our favourite quotes from Inbound 17, send more direct mail. This had me and Becky, our MD, laughing a lot. Basically, we're talking about mixing things up. So you can, like, people have said now, direct mail, don't do it, it's done. But when everyone stops doing it, doesn't it become actually quite an open way to get to your customers? There was one talk I went to, and where this quote came from was a guy working for a cybersecurity company. And all of his prospects, he did some customer research, all of his prospects got emails and deleted them before they even opened them. They didn't look at them. So he decided to go at them from a different angle and ordered a load of Nerf guns, I think it was, got them delivered to them, and then sent them follow-up emails basically saying, when you're done with the Nerf gun, do you want to chat? And it just opened up that conversation. A lot of these people were IT experts who weren't really noticed. So getting sent something in the post really worked. So just try and mix things up a bit. As well as successful inbound campaigns are likely to blend a mixture of things. So it's not just about that educational, helpful content, which we obviously need to attract prospects, and inbound best practices like conversion points, etc. You want to be looking at things like account-based marketing techniques, which a lot more is coming out on at the moment. You want to be segmenting your audience and really trying to send out emails to smaller segments rather than blasting the whole database with the same email. You want to be personalizing it a lot more. And you also want to be specifically targeting people. So a lot of those ads features that Izzy was talking about before, that's coming in to really start focusing on your ideal audience and targeting content that will be useful to them, to try and draw them in. And maybe even direct mail. Who knows? If it works for your persona and it's relevant and personalized, then really anything, like most things can work if you just be a bit creative with it.
Yeah.
And ultimately just think about your prospects, who you're trying to get in touch with, and just focus on them.
Yeah. One example, one example I had from one of my talks, they were doing some account-based marketing, and they'd really struggled getting hold of this lady that they wanted to speak to. So they'd done a lot of research on her, and they knew that she liked netball. So they sent her a pair of really cool trainers in the post, and I think she became a customer within like the next week.
It's just that one-to-one connection. Like, I know if someone reached out to me with like a personalized message that said that they knew me, and not in a creepy way, but in a friendly way, if they reached out to me and like wanted to start a conversation rather than just selling to me or sending me something that is clearly a blanket email, then I'm probably far more likely to listen to it. So yeah. Okay. So Izzy mentioned this earlier, but HubSpot have acquired Motion AI. Their quote on their website, if you go to it, if you go to their website, it says we've just been acquired by HubSpot, and the quote on there is the future of marketing is messaging. So we're looking at how our communications will be changing over the next few months. Izzy made a really good point that while we were in one of the keynote presentations where they were talking about the importance of messaging, if you walked out to go to the loo and you came back, most people were on some sort of messaging app. So WhatsApp, Slack, well, I don't know if your businesses are using Slack, but we certainly are. Facebook Messengers, just so many messaging apps. And if we're using those in our like daily life, surely it's going to start coming in even to be B2B. It may seem a bit of an odd concept at the moment, but who knows where the future is. So email certainly isn't dead, but there are some exciting advancement happening in bots and AI, which we'll be looking forward to seeing develop over the next few years, I think.
Yeah, and I'm starting to play around with creating the new Babel bot, which is quite fun. Really, really easy to do, a lot easier than I thought it would be. But yeah. We'll bring him out soon.
We'll introduce him to you all when he's born.
Yeah.
Okay. So quick. Oh, I've gone too far. Let's just check I didn't miss any more. No. So one other thing that's coming out, this was mentioned last year when HubSpot unveiled their HubSpot strategy tool, which has only just, I think it's come out of beta now, but it's been in it for about a year. So it's a fresh perspective on content and SEO and how you're tying all your content together. So we all know that nowadays your content needs to be a lot more natural to start appealing to both your prospects and to search engines. Someone said at Inbound that even Google engineers don't know what it takes to rank in Google anymore. Someone's been quoted as saying that, because there's just so much AI and they've learned so much in there that the algorithms have taken on their own life. They know what ranks, no one else does. So it's becoming a lot more about being natural, which is useful because that's what you need to appeal to your prospects as well. So this fresh perspective on content involves topic clusters. So here we have the image of that central piece of content with supporting subtopics around it, all connected together so that you're building that domain authority for a specific topic. If you are a cybersecurity company, then you want to become one of the main sources of content for that on the web, which will then start getting you noticed a lot more. But equally, as well as getting that domain authority, it's really starting to build your thought leadership, which will help your buyers as they're coming through and just building that relationship with you as well. The one thing that I'd say is really important to remember with this, and is part of this fresh perspective on content, is that more really shouldn't mean more in every case. So it's not a case of coming at it and going, okay, we need 2 blogs every week for the rest of time, because it might not be the best thing to do. It might be that we put one blog out a month that's really well researched and is longer form. It may be that your company needs 1 a week, but you need to really assess where the need for content is. If there's no content about your topic, certainly write more about it, but make sure it's a good quality. But yeah, more doesn't necessarily mean more, but just be aware of how much content you're creating, and also pay attention to your backlog of content. If you've got a load of posts, if you've got hundreds of posts sitting there, look at whether any of those can be repurposed. Don't just write the same post again and again because you need to create more content. It doesn't necessarily help.
Yeah. And also, if you've got a lot of things that are similar or tie quite nicely together, repurpose them into one longer article. They tend to perform much better than the shorter ones that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, so I think that's something that will probably evolve over time, but I think it's just getting us to look at content in a different way. We're all a bit overloaded by content and feeling a bit stuck when it comes to writing more, I think. And I think that this, looking at it a different way, being natural, talking to your content, to your prospects, will really help with that. So quick plug on that one, and the cheesy image that goes with it. We have a live session on topic clusters and content strategy next Thursday at 10 a.m. So same time, same place. We've got a link there for you to sign up for that.
We can probably send this out as well. After this
we'll be sending the link to this out. Already got quite a lot of interest in that, but we'll be basically talking through how you can start looking at topic clusters and start implementing them in your business. So some real tips and tricks there as well. So we've whizzed through that. I feel a little bit out of breath. It's a bit fast. Hopefully everyone's taking this in. So things you can do today. While all of this is great, while we've got a lot of ideas there's a lot of thoughts going on, you're hearing about the products, a lot of the time it's quite nice to just be given a list of things that you can do today that will actually make a difference. So Izzy and I have gone through some of the talks that we went to that we found were really useful, pulled out some of the tips that we picked up, and we're going to talk you through those now. Oh, before we do that, maybe I'll put these slides in the wrong order. This is the link I mentioned about exploring those product updates a bit more, and also signing up to be notified when new things come up in HubSpot. I signed up to all of them last year, and it was certainly useful to know when things came out. It'll also let you know when things come out in beta, which is always a good thing to try out.
Yeah, definitely sign up for the beta program if you haven't already, because you get to play around with the things that come out. And just try them out before everyone gets them, which is really good.
Yeah, so that's hubspot.com/new. They made the URL really easy. So, okay. Go ahead, please.
So I think this was probably one of the talks that I took the most away from. I don't really use LinkedIn very much. I'll check it occasionally, but it's not a big deal for me. I spend much more of my time on Facebook. This is all about leveraging LinkedIn's publisher tools. So the articles are usually like Pulse articles. LinkedIn is very confusing with its naming convention. So Pulse is the magazine that they will pull articles in from everywhere and display them to everyone. LinkedIn Publisher is the tool itself. Some benefits: you can search natively on LinkedIn for articles, and they also rank really well in search engines. A couple of mine that I've put in, I think I've got first and second on Google. Oh. When it was a thing, ranking, I got first and second, one for the blog itself on our website and on LinkedIn as well for the same article. Posting regularly on LinkedIn enables thought leader positioning, just makes people more aware of who you are, your specialities and your expertise. You can use it to drive traffic to your website. But another note on this, as Jem mentioned, keeping people on the social platform that they're on. So although you can drive traffic, try and work out ways that you can keep them where they are, but also leverage that as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like have the whole post on LinkedIn and keep them there because it's getting them to know you, but then maybe make a mention that if they'd like to read more articles by you, they can go to your blog or like something
if you have
like that.
An offer or something, tying into lead generation as well there. So some tips for article writing: aim to write between 500 to 1,000. But interestingly, Vivica, the lady that ran the talk, said that anything between 3,000 to 10,000 words get the most shares. 10,000 words is a lot. And she was saying, if you've got ebooks, put them in there, put the whole thing in there, like really long form content, because they do really, really well.
And actually, linking to that, ebooks is, if you think about it, a ebook is a really valuable piece of content, and so many of us, put it behind a form and then put it in a PDF, which a PDF isn't searchable. Your users have to fill in their information to get to it, and it really could be getting you a lot of interest. So consider having it out there. You could have it on a PDF as well for people to then go and download, because some people do like to save it for later and like PDFs. But just don't hide all of your secrets behind stuff, because a lot of it is getting people to notice you and like you for what they're reading.
Yeah, and also a lot of people will be reading these things on mobile. If you've got PDFs, they may not necessarily work on a mobile device. Yeah. And most do, but if if it doesn't, then you've kind of wasted that opportunity, really. You can also add some CTAs in to encourage sharing. So one thing that I've done recently, and I'll send this out as an example afterwards as well, but that LinkedIn, you can get an image button. It just says share this article on LinkedIn. If you add that into your post as an image, save it, and then once you've published it, go back in and edit the blog, the article, and then open up the sharing box that you get once you've published the article, copy the URL, and then put that into that button. So it lets people share things really quickly. You know, if they got halfway through and thought, oh, this is great, I really want to share this with my network, but they may forget to do that if they want to read the whole thing. So just having some more options to share throughout the post makes it a lot easier. Also, make sure to include your contact information, adding a custom bio in that's not your generic LinkedIn one, something that relates to the post itself, you know, specific expertise in that area, for example, and adding in a meeting link if you have one. HubSpot have its own native one, but there are a few other free tools as well that you can use. Just allows people to be able to contact you easily if they've got something they want to share with you or if they have any questions.
That's actually a good one just to mention. The meeting link used to be something that was just available to people who paid for Sales Pro in HubSpot. They've just made it available free in the CRM. There are limits on it for what you can do with it, but I'd massively recommend using that. I mean, I'm not a salesperson, but I use it with all my clients, and just being able to send them a link and then put in the time they want rather than going back and forth, trying to get a meeting booked in, it makes such a difference. So I'd look that one up.
Yeah. And then I think one of the most important things as well that I got from that is that there's no virtual Google slap for copying word for word your blog into LinkedIn. So it just makes things a lot easier, rather than having to repurpose something, rewrite it almost, just copy and paste it, maybe tweak it slightly for relevance, to appeal to your audience, but you're not going to get penalized for copy and pasting in LinkedIn.
Okay, so writing persuasive copy. This was a talk that I went to that I found just really useful for things I can take away and actually learn. It was actually an A to Z of things you can do to make your writing more persuasive. I haven't put all 26 in. If you want to know them all, I can send them to you. I've got all of them, but just 5 of them. So using iMagnet words. People don't read every single word in a sentence. It's important to try and capture people's attention. We all have a really short attention span because of the amount of stuff we have to take in these days. There's a really good blog on Buffer that talks about the words and phrases that convert. It's just a list of words that are really useful. So there's things like because in there. I think free is one of those words. There's a lot of words that will just draw the eye and will really help your content. Avoid jargon. It can really make you sound pretentious or make people feel stupid. If you're trying to teach them, it's probably not the best idea. But if you're trying to suggest more value or imply insider status, so you're speaking to a set group of people and you really want them to understand that you're an expert and you understand what level they're at, then actually it can help. So overall, the answer on that is consider your audience and context of who you're speaking to as to whether you need to use jargon or not. Personalization is a huge thing in all your marketing, really, but with your copy, using personalization to trigger the principle of liking through familiarity. So if you're sending emails out and you use their hometown in the title of the email. So let's go back to that cybersecurity example again. So it's how you can improve your cybersecurity in Oxfordshire. It will give that familiarity and it will just make it a bit more personal, rather than it just seeming like you sent it to everyone. Another one, storytelling. Storytelling activates more parts of the brain than a standard statement and will be remembered better. There were actually more talks just on storytelling at Inbound, and I could go into a lot more on that. But basically, rather than just saying a statement which a lot of us will gloss over or just forget an hour later, which because we've got that much information. If you tell us a story and make it really, really memorable, just add a bit of creativity in there, it will really help people to remember it. And that goes for your business. If you have a story around your business, it's going to be far more remembered than if there's not.
Yeah, people really want that human-to-human interaction as well, and I think storytelling really enables that.
Yeah, definitely. Really. And finally, readers are short on time, like all of us. 28% of words are read on an average page, so that's very little. If we're talking about the average blog post that gets the most interaction is 10,000 words. Mm-hmm. The amount of words that people are reading is a lot less. So don't bury the lead of your sentence. Give it up front, be clear, be concise. Don't be fluffy with what you're trying to say. Just get it out there and just say it. If you want to then go into detail afterwards, go for it, because some people will have been captivated and will continue, but just lead with what you're trying to say. Okay. Improving or starting, if you're not doing it, lead nurturing. So this is one of my geeky areas in HubSpot. I quite enjoy lead nurturing. It sounds really sad. But this was a good talk from Laurie at HubSpot, who had overhauled the HubSpot lead nurturing process. So it's all about being personal, timely, and human with your communications, trying to understand the intent and fit for your business when it comes to the buyer. So you've got all these contacts, but are they the right fit for you? And what is their intent when they're coming to you? Trying to understand that through forms and will then help you to segment them at a later date. So making sure you've got the right data there. Personalizing your communication. Again, if you're just sending out standard emails and not personalizing it to them, they're more likely to gloss over it and not open an email in a nurturing process. Provide information, education, and be transparent about the value you can offer, but introduce a human and make them readily available. So one example of this was HubSpot used to send emails out all the time that were educational about inbound and all of this, and then they would send an email saying, and you can buy our software. And people were like, you sell software? I didn't know you sold software. You've just been giving me all this education on inbound. I didn't know you sold software. And they should have been more clear about that value up front. But equally, you need to make sure that it's coming from a human. So if they hit reply and they want to ask a question, they can do that. So many times I've replied to people and it's bounced back saying, yeah, this isn't a valid email address. That really annoys me as a consumer. I hate it when that happens. So just make sure that you've got humans behind your emails that can actually answer their questions. Even if it's a proxy, so if it's your MD, you want to be sending out these emails, create them a separate email and you manage that account so that it's actually going to a real person. And then test, change, and test again. So you really need to understand when something isn't working. Use it as a positive signal for change, not a failure. This signal for change is something that was going around inbound. Like our marketing these days throws off so many signals from buyers. And we just need to be listening to that and being able to say, okay, this isn't working, let's change it. And that's what's great about HubSpot. So make the most of that.
Definitely the new customer success tools as well, and the conversations is definitely going to flag that a lot earlier as well if something's not working.
Yeah. Okay, small and mighty HubSpot tips. This was from George at the Sales Lion. There were a whole list of tips that he could give. But these were 3 that really stuck with me and I thought I'd share. So look through the HubSpot Connect program to really tailor HubSpot to your needs. It doesn't have everything in it. It has a lot in it, but it doesn't have everything. Like I said, the e-commerce platform with Shopify, if you want to, if the CRM isn't right for you and you need a separate CRM, look at that HubSpot Connect program. See what you can use to really hone your application and make it perfect for you.
Yeah, so this is integrations rather than the Chrome extension.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Connect program is integrations. So it's the program is a set of companies who HubSpot have deemed good enough to be official integrations. So if you go to that part of their website, you can see all the integrations. There's some really cool ones in there that we're trialing out, and yeah, it'll be good. So Also, use negative lead scoring based on HubSpot score. So this is part of using negative personas. If you've got someone flagging in a form as a negative persona, use negative lead scoring based on a HubSpot score. So if they've filled this out, if they've done this or that, then give them that negative score and automate a response to save sales time. So one example that was given was, if someone isn't a fit for your company, get the automation to flag that and send them an email saying, we're not a fit for you because of X, Y, Z. Here's a list of companies who we think are a good fit. Because that way you're being helpful, and if they eventually leave that company and go to one that can help you, then you've come across really well. So they'll come to you in future if suddenly they need you. So that's a really good one. And super segment your database using progressive profiling. So I talked about segmentation before, which is really important to be able to personalize those communications. But progressive profiling in HubSpot can be a massive use for this. If you've got a form that's got probably 5 or 6 fields already, you're thinking, oh, if I add another 2 questions, it's going to turn them off completely. Well, actually, if this is an end stage offer or consideration stage offer, they might have answered quite a few of the questions you've asked already, and you could line up a set of other questions to try and get more information out of them. So just think about what you can gather over time from different form fields, and just build that as you go along. That's a good recommendation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so marketing and selling like a human. Again, bringing in that video element. This is a really interesting talk, actually, and it was all about, I think buyers are really frustrated, going through people's sales processes. For example, if I was on your Facebook company page, but I wanted to talk to someone, how do I get in touch with you without bouncing off where I am to try and find where you are? So it's all about talking to people where they are at the right time, when they want you to speak with them. And a lot of the stuff that came out of that was about creating personalized one-to-one videos. So I'm going to be utilizing this as an account manager with my clients. When we onboard a client, I'm going to work to produce introductory videos, introducing myself, going through some of the things that I will be working on and also what I expect from them, just making it a lot more personalized. But this is another good one for sales as well. If your sales teams are speaking to prospects, send personalized videos to them, with some takeaway tips. Just bringing in that human element really resonates well with people. Another thing you could do, host small value first events, so webinars like this, small networking events, leveraging their peers, putting quotes up, meet and greets, Q&As, that kind of thing. Create a feeling of exclusivity, and then just also what resonates really well. Another good thing, producing podcasts. I've put a couple of stats in there as well, but this would be another big thing as well as video. People are listening to podcasts. They dropped off the face of the earth, I think, last year and the year before.
Yeah.
But they're really coming back now, and they're the people who follow brands. They're more likely to listen to podcasts, and they're also more likely to follow you on social as well. And people are listening to all, or at least most of, a podcast. So just bringing in that element of being human and connecting on that human level, rather than that kind of hands-off approach that we're so used to. It's got to get a lot more personal.
Yeah, I think that's really good. With podcasts, the other thing to say about that is that I've heard a lot of people listening to them in the car. So it's actually a way of getting people on the move. I don't commute on a train, I commute in a car. So I'm not going to sit there reading blog posts on the way into work. I'm going to listen to something, and rather than listen to Radio 1, which can get a bit tiring after a while, then listening to podcasts is the way forward. So that's a really good way of getting access to some people differently. Is that the end?
I think so.
Oh, we're done. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a good overview. We want to go and see if any of you have got any questions. So if you can see the chat bar at the bottom of the screen, I would love to know if you've got any questions. if you'd like to type them, we can try and answer them. So yeah, go ahead. If no one's got any questions, there's another slide. If no one's got any questions, then feel free to email either of us. It's just gem@babelquest.co.uk or izzy@babelquest.co.uk. It's probably a lot of information. Not got any questions at the moment, but yeah, we'll send this out to everyone. So yeah, hopefully that's been useful. We have got some questions. They weren't coming up on my screen. Okay, so Adam has gone, going back to something mentioned right at the start, you said you can now upload a blog directly from Google Docs. Does this bring across images, links, etc., and format them correctly? I haven't tried this one out yet, but as far as I know, yes. They're trying to basically smooth out that process of being, they basically said everyone is using HubSpot for a lot, and then suddenly they're putting something in Google Docs and they're having to copy and paste it across and losing that formatting, which is a pain. So they're trying to smooth that out. So yes, I assume that will involve images, links, etc., because that is the process they're trying to fix. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yes, I think so. Yeah, that definitely is a nightmare at the moment. I can't wait for that to happen either. And that's also actually a really good thing about this HubSpot, the collect feature, because that helps with that attribution and adding in those quotes, which is something we've always struggled trying to get that in there. And if they can just insert it for you, it takes away so much pain and it looks really good. Like they've designed it in a really nice way. So it's really good.
Yeah, I need to try that out. Okay, so Dawn, marketing updates. Instagram, there's not a release date for it yet. They're still trying to hash some stuff out with the platform. But probably next year, a lot of it will be.
I'd assume some of the stuff's going to be late next year, but I'd assume probably with Instagram, probably early next year. I think they're trying to update.
It's quite a little update.
It's a little update, and they're trying to update that app because a lot of people complaining about some of the social features on that app. So yeah, keep an eye out. We can send out stuff on these features if people would like to hear. Like little snippets once a month about what products have come out, let us know, because we're always trying to do more useful things and try and communicate stuff. Okay, yeah, so we'll look at sending out snippets.
Cool. So Dave, impact of voice search. Yeah, definitely, really big thing. Most people are searching on their mobile now, and a lot of people are searching with Siri or Cortana.
Yeah.
Whatever. Is there any more?
Alexa,
yeah.
Yeah, so they were saying that there's a lot more coming. This is part of that, just seeing where bots and AI goes. Basically, HubSpot have said they're not 100% sure where it's going in what all of their features will be, but they're definitely looking where, like, by getting this Motion AI, they're looking at it and they're trying to grow with it. So yeah, we'll see what happens with voice search, but it's definitely starting to impact people.
Yeah, and one thing that I got from one of the talks was quite interesting actually, that Siri, Alexa and Cortana are all powered by Bing, not Google. So, just being aware of how Bing ranks as well and not just Google, it's quite a big thing.
Yeah, definitely.
For voice search.
Yeah, which as I said there, topic clusters is part of this. So it's being able to, with those voice searches and not it all being Google, doing these topic clusters is definitely just going to help you to get that domain authority up on any platform. So it's just definitely a good way to go. So definitely check out our webinar. Another plug. Next week. Okay, so Oliver's just said, from the Collects app description, which is a good description to have, easily import Google Docs into HubSpot with their formatting, no copying and pasting required. So the Collects app, as well as that Chrome extension, I didn't realize it was exactly the same tools. That's really useful to know. But so the Collect app covers both that import and also getting the snippets from posts and being able to insert them. So thanks for that, Oliver.
Another one from Dave about Vidyard. Vidyard is an integration with HubSpot. The integration itself is free, but you'll need to pay whatever to Vidyard. But yeah, you will be able to import videos into HubSpot.
I love Vidyard. Vidyard's like the main thing I use for if clients ask specific questions, that's the thing I use to send stuff to them. They just they used to have something called, what was it called? Viewed It. That was the video. Yeah. That was the video platform, and that's what I would send stuff out from. But they've actually just bought it under Vidyard, so it's all now the same thing. So you've got the free version, which is the one I use. But then if you want to up it for sales video, you can add that as well.
Yeah, they've also got that really cool email extension as well. So for sales, if you had a Vidyard video, you could integrate it into Gmail. In Outlook, it's quite a cool one.
I think so. I'm not. Yeah, I know you can. I know it's definitely in Gmail. I'm not sure if it's in Outlook as well, but it's definitely in there. So that's good. I'm sorry. I don't know whether C Carver. I don't know if you're a Carl, a Chris. Sorry, I don't know. I'm not sure which name it is, but Chris. Chris, thank you. So Chris, you said the Bing CEO was recently quoted saying links won't matter when it comes to ranking. How do you think this will tie in with AI? I think links between so the whole topic clusters thing, as there's no better word, the whole topic clusters thread of topic is talking about the fact that linking content together, so creating that cluster of a specific topic, will help you with your domain authority. So I think specifically links from external people, maybe they won't come as into it as much, but I think linking together content potentially will. When it comes to tying in with AI, I'm not sure. I think AI, as much as it's being talked about a lot at the moment, I think, to be honest, a lot of people don't 100% know. I think they're still exploring it. It's a new toy that everyone in the industry is playing with. So I don't know how it will evolve. That will be something to keep an eye out at.
Yeah, and there are some really big things coming out, particularly from Google. So one thing that I saw was more about that augmented search, so kind of bringing in a different element almost to Google search. So for example, walking down the street, fancy something for lunch, you could take a picture of a restaurant through Google, and it will pull up the reviews, the menu, anything that you want to know. That's what I love. That'd be so cool.
And for me, if anyone who knows me, I'm gluten-free. Everyone gets bored with it, but if I can take a picture of a restaurant or walk past it quickly and it can tell me if it's gluten-free, then that will make life so much easier. So I need that to happen. That would be great.
Yeah. And another thing, like with the augmented stuff as well, if you're shopping for a new sofa but you're not sure about how it's going to fit in your living room, you could take a picture and put that sofa in your living room and get rid of all the other stuff in there and
just see how it looks. Yeah.
A bit mental, but really exciting.
It's all really exciting stuff, but like we say, it's all toys. People are playing with it. People are figuring out what it does. So I think, so there's a couple of other things that people have said. What we'll do, I think there's a lot of information in what we've sent out. We've recorded this, so we'll send out the recording. We'll also send out links to everything that we've mentioned, including some of the, I've written up notes on all the talks we spoke about. Yep. So I'll send out the notes to those talks. And we
have like a debrief resource pack.
Yeah, we'll send out a little resource pack so you can all have those links. Is there anything else? Yeah, and Dave said, great job squeezing it into an hour. Feels like we've just run a marathon or something in an hour. There's a lot of information, but hopefully it's useful.
Yeah. We got any more questions before we wrap up?
Cool. Thank you to everyone for coming. It's really useful. Okay. Cool. Thank you, and we'll send it all out by video.
Yeah, and if anyone's got any questions that they think of, like afterwards, just drop either of us an email. So we've got gem@babelquest.co.uk and Izzy@babelquest, same format. We'll answer them.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.